What is happening, guys? You're going to love this one. Yeah, it's a black N4 with a maple neck. And let's just see if you can kind of spot some things that are different about this one. Number one, check out the shark fin there on the Stevens extended cutaway. It's a little different looking. This guitar also has a Kahler, like a Davies. So what is this thing? Let's just kind of check it out here together. Maple board getting up to the top there. Looks like we've got a Kahler nut, just like a Davies. So what could this be? Check that out right there. This is a really super cool guitar. This is a Stevens N4, which I have never seen in my life. One that's actually branded Stevens. You know, Stephen Davies was with Washburn. He worked with Washburn for a long time. I actually saw a Stevens guitar that he built back in the 80s. It was kind of a strap body earlier this week. So what makes this guitar so rare? Well, basically, Stephen Davies was not supposed to be making Stevens N4s. Now, he made a Stevens S model. He made a Stevens T model. The S was kind of more like a Strat type shape. A little bit different shape than an N4. And then he also made a the Stevens T, which is more of a Telecaster. Didn't make any N4s. Except for this rare bird right here. This guitar was part of a collection that was traded into SII Music. They recently purchased a huge Washburn and Stevens collection. There were about 6 different Stevens guitars in there. I bought 3 of them. The 3 of them arrived. This is the only one that I kept. I knew the second I saw it that it was an N4 body. I also got 2 S models that I returned just because, you know, they weren't as clean as I thought they were going to be. But this thing is so awesome. And, you know, let's go ahead and flip it around here and check it out. It's got the Stevens extended cutaway. It's got the Davies style body covers on the back of it there, cavity covers. It's got the cover just like a 91 Davies would have, where it kind of sits on the back of the body. It is not recessed, because if it was recessed, it would hit the bottom of the tremolo, because the bottom of the tremolo would sit so low it would actually hit that. So they started making these in 1991, where they had the cover on the outside there. But yeah, this is just a 100% N4. And check out the back there. There's a serial number. This is actually a 1994. And from what I hear, it was custom made for that guy whose collection was sold to Sam Ash. From what I hear, it was an older gentleman who was a huge Washburn nut. And he passed away, and his family, his estate, sold like 130 some odd guitars and to Sam Ash. Some of them were Gibsons, but there were a lot of Washburns in there, and there were a handful of Stevens guitars. So yeah, neck on it. Well, let's get into one thing real quick. So this is a Davies body. Everything kind of sits the way that a Davies would. It's got the Kahler just like a Davies. The only thing is it's modded to where you can actually put on a screw-on bar on it like a normal Floyd, so you're not having to take the actual bar and screw it into the body of the trim, which I really like and appreciate. But this thing's pretty much, you know, like a 91 Davies with a maple fretboard on it. It's so awesome. And I've seen a couple guitars floating around out there that were made by Davies that are kind of like N4s, but you know, the tremolo cavity is totally different, or there's certain odds and ends about, you know, that will be different. But this guitar is 100% Davies N4, except for that right there. I will tell you that this guitar has a really great fret job on it, and the trim on it, it floats so good. It's got, you know, it's got the perfect amount of play in it. It goes back in tune. It's just the perfect guitar. You know, to me, a Davies N4 is the perfect guitar, and that's what this is. Even though it's a 94 model, this is a Stevens Davies N4. I've never seen a N4 body with a Stevens headstock and logo on it. From what I hear, this was a one-off custom order. Now, I will tell you that this guitar originally had a set of chrome-covered DiMarzios in it that someone had put in it. And, you know, we had to bring this thing back to life. We had to make this thing an N4 again. So it's got a Seymour Duncan 59 in the neck now, and it also has a Bill Lawrence L500XL, and it is the Wild Pickups Bill and Becky version. Sounds great. Personally, I can tell a huge difference between a Bill and Becky pickup and a Bill Lawrence USA. They both sound great to me. But the Bill and Becky, like the one that's in this guitar, and like the one that's in the 901 that I sold to Nuno, they are a lot more tame. They don't have as much sizzle. They're not as harsh. These Bill and Becky L500XLs are a lot more easy to work with. They're a lot smoother, and they sound great. I had a friend of mine who had this one, and he was nice enough to sell it to me. And then Jake, my luthier, had the 59, so I ran up there today, and we put those in there. Got the correct pickup rings. Also put a black knob on it because it had a chrome knob and chrome pickups for some reason, which matched nothing. It's got a black trim on it, so we decided to, you know, make it a real N4. So, you know, not that it wasn't a real N4, but it needed to have those pickups in it, and it needed to have a black knob so that everything matched. Other than that, it's straight from the factory, or I'll take that back. Stephen Davies didn't have a factory. He had like a little, you know, type place that had a couple people working for him that helped him build guitars, and they didn't make very many guitars either. He went out on his own there in about 1992, left Washburn about halfway through that year, and, you know, the rest was history. I think he made guitars through about 96 or so, and then he kind of got out of the guitar business altogether, and I think he's just making money off these patents for the Stevens Extended Cutaway. Hopefully he is. Nobody can seem to find the guy. I've tried to track him down myself because I would love to have a conversation with him, but have not had any luck. But three-way selector, just like a normal N4. The paint job on this thing, of course, this is a you know, 30-year-old, almost a 25 to 30-year-old guitar. So it's got a couple little nicks and stuff on it, but nothing abusive looking or anything like that. It's just normal wear and tear. This guitar is probably cleaner than your average guitar hanging on the wall new at Guitar Center. So, but the paint on it, one thing I really like is it's painted with that, you know, that same paint that they used on Les Pauls, you know, back in the 50s all the way through the 80s. And it's got like a little bit of a softness to it. So, you can actually polish it out really good. I use this one particular polish like I use on my Les Pauls, and it really cleaned this thing up and just made it shine like a mirror. It's pretty awesome. But I just wanted to share this with everybody. Like I said, this is a 96 Stevens N4, and it's the only one I've ever seen as far as, you know, an actual Stephen Davies N4 made after he left Washburn. Really super rare guitar. Really cool piece of wood on the neck. As far as everything on the body, everything is pretty much your standard Davies N4. The only thing that I feel that's a little bit different than probably what somebody would notice on a 91 is the neck thickness is a little bit thicker, kind of like a 1990. And they didn't make very many 1990s. You know, they say they made 20 in the letter of authenticity, but from what I've been told, they never made the 20. They only made probably about 4 or 5. And I can tell you that the Nuno's main guitar that he played for years had a fat neck on it. And the first, couple, like the 901 that I sold him, had a really fat neck on it. And that's what this has got. It's got a really beefy neck. And I know he's kind of more into the 4N, which is a shaved down neck with a really, really thin neck up here. But, yeah, this is like a super early Davies. It's got a thicker neck on it. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm probably going to make a couple videos with this guitar and share some sound clips and stuff with it. I mean, I will tell you, it sounds like an N4. Check it out. Stephen's N4. Thought you'd never see one of these, huh? Anyway, this is one of my pride and joys right now. I've really only got 3 Nuno guitars right now, and I wouldn't part with those 3. So I've got a 4N, and I've got a Japanese into 91 model, which I would buy every one of those that I could find. They're just so awesome and such great quality. And then I've got this guitar here. And this is kind of the stuff I'm into right now. I really like the really super high-end, hard to find N4s. If I buy a standard authentic or an ash body or something like that, I might keep it for a couple months, but then I'm going to get tired and bored of it. I don't really bond with those too much, the normal factory models. So this guitar here is really just... It's my thing, man. I'm telling you, everybody knows I love N4s, and for this thing to be blacked out is just the coolest thing in the world, and for it to have a maple fretboard, because I prefer a maple fretboard. So, I mean, this is just like my model of a N4, if I could design one. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe, like the video if you dig it, and we will see you next time. Thank you.